All right, let's talk about something we all know way too well, procrastination. But what if I told you the reason you put things off has almost nothing to do with being lazy and everything to do with one simple, totally fixable mistake in how you're thinking about your goals?
You know that feeling, right? You get this incredible surge of motivation, you map it all out, you're finally going to learn Spanish, write that novel, get your entire life organized. And in that moment, it feels amazing.
But then, what happens? A few days go by, that perfect plan is still just a plan on paper, the to-do list is untouched, and you're exactly where you started, except now you feel kind of worse about yourself. So what is going on here?
Well, here's the big twist. We immediately jump to blaming ourselves. We think, I just have no willpower. But the truth is, the problem isn't your character, it's your strategy. You're not lazy. The first step you've set for yourself is just way too big for your brain to handle.
So let's really dig into this, because that lack of discipline idea is almost always the wrong diagnosis. It all comes down to how our brains actually hear the tasks we give them.
We tell ourselves something huge and kind of vague, like, okay, this week I'm gonna get my life in order. I mean, on the surface that sounds powerful, right? Motivating, but to your brain, it's not an action plan at all. Your brain doesn't process "get my life in order" as a clear command. It hears it as this giant, undefined cloud of stress. It's a problem with no obvious beginning and no clear end, and that just triggers anxiety. And that's when this internal panic starts. Your brain is just flooded with a storm of questions. It's an impossible workload, and since it can't figure out a single concrete thing to do, its natural defense is just to shut down, to delay. That feeling isn't laziness, it's your brain's perfectly logical response to a completely overwhelming command. So if the problem is the size of the step, then the solution is actually beautifully simple. It's a really powerful tool called the method of microsteps.
Now pay close attention to the emphasis here. We're not shrinking the goal. Your ambition to write a book or learn a language is awesome. We are only shrinking the very first physical action you need to take. You shrink it down and down and down until it's so small that your brain literally feels zero resistance.
Because here's the big secret. All the friction, all the difficulty is packed into that first moment of starting. Once you're in motion, even for just 60 seconds, your brain starts to engage, and that resistance just melts away. The whole point of the microstep is to get you over that initial wall.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? It's not just about thinking small. There are actually 4 simple rules that make this method work. This is the playbook.
All right, let's dive in. Rule number 1. This is probably the most important one, and honestly, it might feel a little weird at first.
And I don't just mean small. I mean so ridiculously, laughably tiny that it feels like you're cheating. The action should require absolutely zero motivation. So if you're thinking, okay, I'll just work for 20 minutes, nope, that's still way too big.
And these examples show the difference perfectly. Your goal isn't go to the gym for an hour. Your goal is just put on your running shoes. That's it. You're not committing to the workout, just the shoes. You want to write a report? Your only task is to open the document. See? When the starting point is that trivial, your brain's resistance has literally nothing to fight against. Okay, rule number 2. So you've got your tiny first step. The next rule is all about building momentum. Our brains build habits through repetition, not intensity. A huge 2-hour session once a week is way less powerful than doing one tiny little thing every single day. That daily repetition literally carves a new pathway in your brain, telling it, hey, this is normal, this is easy, this is just what we do now. Let's move on to rule number 3. This one is designed to fight back against one of the brain's favorite excuses for putting things off: ambiguity.
You see, vague commands are just an open invitation to procrastinate because they force your brain to make another decision. Work on the project makes you ask, well, what part? But open the project's main file. That's a single, physical, unmistakable action. It removes any need for more thinking.
And that brings us to our 4th and final rule. You've made this step tiny, consistent, and super specific. Now, it's all about where you put your focus while you're doing it. This is such a common trap. You decide your micro step is to read just 1 page, but as you're reading it, your mind is screaming, oh my God, I still have 400 pages left. And just like that, all the overwhelm comes rushing back. The rule is this: when you're doing the micro step, your entire world is only that 1 step. The rest of the mountain doesn't exist yet.
Okay, now we get to the really cool part, the deeper magic of this whole method. Because this isn't just a productivity hack.
Over time, doing these little micro steps consistently doesn't just change what you do, it fundamentally changes who you believe you are.
You slowly stop seeing yourself as someone who's just planning to be a writer or trying to learn an instrument. Every single time you open that document or read that one page, you are gathering hard evidence that you are a writer. You are a reader. You're shifting your identity from a planner to a doer.
And this is what creates this amazing upward spiral. As your identity begins to shift, your behavior naturally starts to line up with that new self-image, and suddenly, bigger actions don't feel so scary. You're no longer fighting yourself, you're just being who you are now. So, let's make this real. Forget about those huge goals for just a second. What is one absurdly small, totally specific action you can take right now in the next 60 seconds to move toward one of them? Because sometimes the biggest changes in your life really do begin with a single tiny step.